Come on, boy. Come on, boy.
DC.
Here's the first carry now for Todd Gurley. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
Good job.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
They'll get 4 out of that, and it'll bring up a third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers. And pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Jaron Reed in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Give them 11 yards that time on the return, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 26. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Taylor Rapp with a pick. And he will bring it back. It's an interception return for a Rams touchdown.
There you go.
Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism, because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on.
Fine. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Here we go.
Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Out comes the Seattle offense. We take a peek at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
9 yards. First down, Seahawks.
Spot that.
Check.
On first down, Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Aaron Donald in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack.
Watch the screen.
There's Wilson to throw. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 22 yards there, a first down.
A gain of 22 yards.
Wilson now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Wilson, after the play fake to Carson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Aaron Donald in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Hey, 0.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Aaron Donald able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Here's Wilson. And my goodness, this is incomplete. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And the Rams are going to take possession of the turnover on downs. So their first drive of the game already trailing, having given up points. But a little surprised that they went for it, right?
Maybe the big guy, the head coach, senses this is going to be a shootout type of a game. That they've got to match them point for point, as opposed to, hey, we'll get them later. Maybe he just has that sense, and that's why he decided to go for it there.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Goff. And the open receiver, it's Robert Woods. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That's a gain of 13. First down, Rams.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
On first down, it's Gurley. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Who goes to that? 180.
155. Man, that's trash. That's trash.
What's that? Turbo,
On 2nd and 12, Goff. He's going to dump it off to Gurley. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Black 20.
Check 55, Mike. Here we go, D. Here I come. Here I come. Showing it. Showing it.
A play fake to Gurley. Now Goff. He wants it all for the end zone. And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Josh Reynolds, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Rams tack on to their advantage. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early to give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, and we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. So let's glance at a player's spotlight now. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Third and 2, now Wilson. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
59. We don't want this.
Now Wilson on first down. They'll run the screen with Carson. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted. To throw is Wilson. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And he's got this down to the 35. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did.
Throwing again on second down. Wilson, and his throw is incomplete. That one broken up by David Long on the defensive end.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Short throw to Disley, and he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Now Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Gary Jennings, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
Obviously, Brandon, they couldn't get it all back with just one score, but that touchdown chips into the lead, and now it makes the comeback a little bit more manageable.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. Oh, how about this? No good. Just his 2nd miss of the year, and our score will stay right where it is.
14, Seahawks 6.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Here I come.
What's that?
Goff turns and gives to Gurley. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first.
Robert Woods, the 20. Touchdown, L.A. Robert Woods, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Rams tack on to their advantage. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
The Seahawks take over first
All
and
day,
10
baby, all day.
at their own 25-yard
So let's glance at a player's spotlight now with Russell. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
I'm gonna run you over.
They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Three down. 58, right over
Punch left, punch left.
Mike, 58, right there. That's right, baby. They don't want it.
Hey, easy.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. It's caught by Aguilar. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Give him 30 yards there. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
On first and 10, it's Wilson. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
All right, we get slap happy up here sometimes. A really nice gain of 25 yards. This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Now it's Carson. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. Another shot from the 9 on second and goal. Flushed out right, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Samson Abuka racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
Now the pressure gets to him again. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. The offense stays out there. A big challenge here from this far back, but they're going for it on fourth and goal. Now it's Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf with touchdown number 8 on the year, as they're now just an extra point away from getting back within one score.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done.
Check my
left.
You gonna get this, boy? You think you gonna get this?
From the shotgun, Wilson. The quick slant caught. And he will get into the end zone to shave 2 more points off the deficit. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Let's go.
Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you've got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are on the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Woo, that's what I'm talking about.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both of these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep two hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1.
Check 55 to Mike. I'll get him, get him, get him.
Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Johnny Hecker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Pulled in at the 24. So we come upon halftime. Okay, well, so much for the halftime report here. Guy can't even finish his Snickers. We're going to get right to the third quarter. Let me spit this out.
Let's go. Let's do this.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with it. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 33 yards that time. Well, you had all halftime to think about what you wanted to do to start the second half. They came out with a big one.
Does that not beg the question? What was happening in the other locker room at halftime? Was that the one play they didn't cover as a possibility? Because they just gave up a big game.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one?
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They run again with Carson. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Quick the edge. Come.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on first.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The Rams calling on their nickel set here defensively for third down.
Mike, check, 59. We own them.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. After the delay, they're backed up even further for third and long.
Let's pick it up. 14. Guys, out of time. Let's get off the field.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Nelson Aguilar. His 11th touchdown of the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
Brandon, what we just saw there were two guys who are in sync. The person delivering the ball, but especially the person running the route. Tremendous job. It results in a terrific play.
Now Myers for the extra point. He's got it, and we're all tied at 21.
That ties the game at 21.
The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown.
To kick off for Seattle.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Rams. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You've got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
They go play action with Gurley. Now Goff. And he's got the hook up here. It's Woods. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Rams there on a pickup of 18.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Now it's Gurley. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
From the 50, it's Goff. This pass complete to Reynolds. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Let's go.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
This pass from Goff to Everett, the tight end. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15. 5 yards on the catch there brings up second down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Now Goff. That's complete to the tight end, Everett. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. A field goal would get him the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Todd Gurley hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Rams have taken the lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They did what they had to do to start this 3rd quarter. Went down, got the touchdown to cut the lead, but the matching touchdown a moment ago, and we're right back where we started at halftime.
Yeah, you're exactly right, partner. They had a little bounce in their step after scoring that first.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. John Johnson with the INT. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Time to establish the run game here. Gurley. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Goff. He gets it to Gurley. Complete. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And Zerline's kick is good. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
All right, here we go. Let's go, D. Let's go. Hey, let's get there.
Throwing on 2nd down. Wilson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Corey Littleton able to put it into that play, and in so doing puts an end to this 3rd quarter.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Hey, 0-0-0. Friday.
Check 30.
Good touch.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. He's at the 30. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf. 80 81 yards, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. So that's a really big play here in the fourth quarter, and don't look now, they're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just one score. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
We're going to work.
As the Rams offense comes back out, here is the NFC playoff picture coming into the weekend. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
180.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Goff now to throw. Dumps it off to Gurley. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's a gain of 13, first down Rams. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 44-yard line. Well, I'm sure he likes this performance a little bit better than last week. He had the 3 interceptions here, none in the fourth quarter, and he's got his guys in front.
Guaranteed he put in a tremendous amount of work this week, but maybe the matchup is just better for him. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's almost like those golfers. Certain courses fit their eye, and they like what they see, and other courses, as soon as they tee it up, they know they have no shot. Maybe that's the difference for him. Last week, no. This week, a big yes.
26-yard line.
Back to the ground game here, Gurley. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
They're not ready for this.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Goff, he'll throw underneath for Gurley. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 13-yard line. Goff in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. From the red zone now, Goff toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Trying the power game with Ham. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Jared Goff with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Rams tack on to their advantage. It seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone.
Come on now, let's go.
The Seahawks take over first and 10.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Samson Abukum, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson, he's got a man on the crossing route. That's more. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Here's Wilson. Off, and the Rams got him. They bring him down. Aaron Donald. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. 2 minutes left to play in this football.